And good evening from Hawaii. Aloha. It is 9 o'clock in the evening here in our state. And I know we have people joining us from all over the world. I even saw participation from Argentina, where it's in the middle of the night. So thank you very much for being up and coming in from everywhere. I see people here from Nepal, from India, from Singapore. So it looks like we have an international crowd again. Thank you so much. Just for those of you that haven't been on the Zoom call, it's we're going to keep this very interactive, so you can ask questions or intervene anytime you like to. Simply, you see on the right side of your screen, when you click on participants, you see like a blue hand. On my computer, it's blue. It may have a different color on your computer, but if you click on this hand, we will see this here, and we can give you the microphone at the earliest convenient. And today, we don't really have a guest as a speaker, because we tried this last week with our North American forum, and it becomes more interactive when we have someone who can contribute maybe something more than anyone else. We can play it by ear. I know we have a lot of interesting people in our group already. So without further ado, what I really like to discuss tonight is to see what our role is in the world of COVID. Maybe also get an update from you how the situation is in various parts of the world where you're coming from, and where we go next. I know COVID is not, at least where I'm at, is still the #1 discussion point everywhere in the world. All of us in tourism are very concerned, and it looks like every time we make a step forward, there is a step backwards. And specifically here in our country, the United States, we have some major issues. Luckily, where I'm at in Hawaii, we have the lowest infection rate of COVID. But we also don't really welcome our visitors yet. You can travel here, but you have to go to quarantine for 2 weeks. And this is all supposed to change on August 1. At the same time, the corona is spreading in our main tourism source markets like California, in Texas, and elsewhere with astronomical numbers. So everyone is quite nervous about this. And we don't really know exactly where to go. And there's different situations in different parts of the world, of course. I know Europe just opened up travel within Europe. There have been a lot of promotion I noticed from car travel instead of getting on the plane. So people are starting to move in some parts of the world. I know Tanzania said they're completely open up, and I don't know how great of an idea this is, but we can maybe discuss this a little bit later. And one of the main developments I saw in the last 2 weeks since we met here in this group the last time is the initiative by the World Travel and Tourism Council and their Safe Travels program. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. And I know some countries, some businesses, they said more than 1,000 businesses have actually bought into this program. It's free, I shouldn't say buy, but they have adopted this program to declare themselves safe with the stamp of approval of safety. And I'm a little bit nervous about this. The program itself is very well thought. It's it looks very complete. Has some excellent feedback. So absolutely nothing wrong with the program. But what I'm nervous about is the word safe being a guarantee with the stamp of approval to be safe. That could, of course, open up to legal liabilities, but it's simply not a statement, I feel, what should be made to the consumer. So I was searching for different ways of explaining to a consumer in regions where travel can actually start, maybe we can use a different word. Um, I know there's an initiative from Jamaica for many years, what's the tourism resilience movement, and resilience is a very good word. But I stumbled over something from a gentleman, I don't know if he's calling in, from a company, Car Crawler, and he did a study on aviation and actually compared airlines, what they're doing to keep their passengers safe and corona-free, and he called it a traveler's confidence. And I think traveler's confidence is a really an impression where you could identify, maybe include the traveler and not only the industry, and kind of make it a team effort. So what he said, actually, I'm reading it here, increase travelers' confidence. So I wanted to throw this out to you guys and maybe get some feedback also. How's the situation in your area? I know many of yours are not in the United States, where we're all quite depressed and very nervous. You're in different parts of the world, and maybe you're way more optimistic than I am from my position here. But I'd like to really open it up a little bit and see if any one of you has any feedback. I know Ibrahim Ayub, who is based in Mauritius, already told me that he would like to contribute. So I'm going to unmute you. In the meantime, anyone else who wanted to be part of this discussion, feel free to raise your hand. But welcome, Ibrahim. Good morning to you.
Hello, Jürgen. Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you very much. And I saw you online, and since no one raised hand, I thought I'm going to give you the microphone right away, because we had an interesting discussion about tourism safety, security, and you live on an island similar to where I live on an island. And we have other participants living on an island. So give us the island story here.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Jürgen. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody, wherever you are around the world. Look, we discussed that, I think, a week ago or 10 days ago, Jürgen, about Mauritius, because I'm based between London and Mauritius, and I'm currently in Mauritius, and I can say I'm very proud to be here for the past few months and since a lockdown. And I would tell you a simple story about Mauritius. I think we did very, very, very well. I said 3 times very, because we are lucky because everything is normal in Mauritius. So for the past 2 months, we don't have even a single local case, no cases at all. So the only cases we got are when the government repatriate some Mauritians from different parts of the world, and then we got a few cases and they are all in quarantine. But otherwise, life is back to normal in Mauritius. I mean, everything is open. I mean, all the businesses are open. I mean, school, students are back to school. I mean, from all the different ages, universities are open, you know, so the beaches are open, the restaurants are open, the hotels are now open. They are now open for domestic tourism. They are making a few advertisements to welcome Mauritians. Our airport is not, I mean, international flights are still closed up to the 31st of August. Reason why? Because Mauritius want to be safe and make the economy, internal economy and domestic tourism to work well. And I know, Jürgen, you're talking about a safe destination, the word safe, confidence or resilience. But I will come on that point. I have given a very good thought, and I will give you the example of Mauritius, which could eventually be part of that discussion for other destination, right? Like I said, everything is back to normal. I mean, you need to work to wear your mask and social distancing and so forth. We even have a trade fair, concert and meetings and convention already started. All is going fine. So as normal as you could imagine, as it was. I mean, everything is safe, everything is correct, is operating very well in Mauritius, right? And Mauritius got this safe travel stamp from WTTC. So how all that happened, I mean, to the information I had, is that Mauritius started, I mean, lockdown. Let me give you like a small story. Like we got locked down, I think on the 20th of March, when a few cases started. And personally, I had a fear that we would be having like a few thousand cases, but luckily, I mean, the government managed it very well, and we got, I believe, 350 something cases. I mean, we've got a couple, I mean, like 10 or 12 people pass away, unfortunately, but all the rest are fully recovered, except the few cases we got of the repatriation of some Mauritians. So otherwise, everything is going on well. There have been very draconian and very tough measures that the government have put in place so that everybody follow and be disciplined. And I can tell you, if you don't wear your mask, even we don't have any cases in Mauritius at the moment, you don't wear your mask, you are fined £1,000. And if you leave the quarantine, you are in quarantine, you leave it, you get like £10,000 of fine. And you can go to prison up to 2 to 5 years, something like that. So it's very draconian type of measures, but it worked. Today, it's paid off, and we are all going and traveling, going everywhere. Domestic flight have started between Mauritius and Rodrigues, right? So now what's happening is all Mauritians are having the vacation inland. I mean, throughout the island, which is now privilege. We privilege domestic tourism, and that has started to work perfectly. So now I'm coming back on that safe travel stamp that we got from WTTC. So Mauritius have worked along with WTTC, and they have approved the guideline. They have seen all the guidelines that Mauritius protocol that Mauritius have put in place. They work alongside WTTC. And I can tell you, WTTC for me has done a very good job. I mean, they are one of the best organizations globally that have fully engaged into putting up several initiatives and the protocols and everything, engage with so many destinations. And one of them is Mauritius. And they have given that safe travel. And I think that safe travel, to be honest, is a good word. I know there are different debates. Should we call it safer, safe, or resilient? I mean, confidence. But I think if you want to travel to some place, when you see the word safe, you feel protected. I think that you're not exposed to danger. You're not exposed to a risk. I know the virus can come, you know, and you can get sued, what Jürgen said. But I think this is the best word that could eventually give you some assurance. Of course, you need, when you're traveling, you need to discuss with your insurance companies. Some insurance companies are reluctant to cover COVID, but I think some insurance, I think, are working on it. They're giving, and this is where all the protocols, I think WTTC has worked out within the different destinations, because I saw Egypt, Jordan, Bulgaria. There are quite a lot of other destinations that have got that safe. And I think they have analyzed. And if something goes wrong, of course, the destination and WTTC will work with the destination and say, okay, look, there are some few cases, there's a surge here, there's a surge there, you know, we need to be careful. But I think guaranteeing, nobody can guarantee you board a plane, you know, not so sure if you will land to your destination. The plane can crash, but okay, most of the plane don't crash. But I would say there's nobody can guarantee. But I think that word safe, I will go for it.
No, that's a very good feedback. And I think the situation in Mauritius is also very different than in many other parts of the world. And you're similar to what we just did a story on eTurbo News on Tonga, the Kingdom of Tonga here in the Pacific, and they never had a case of coronavirus. So they're very fortunate, but they still are closed for tourism. They're now debating to have a tourism bubble agreement with New Zealand. So I guess when you're careful, yes, you can keep a destination fairly safe, but can you guarantee it? I think I would respectfully disagree. Let me give you another example of what may be a little bit more drastic and on the other scale of what you had been reporting, Ibrahim. The city of Fort Lauderdale in Broward County, what is pretty much a part of Miami, also has the seal. They're a member of WTTC. And they currently have the highest death rate or the third highest death rate in the United States compared to population than anywhere. They had an increase of 1,386 cases on one day for a city. So if you put this in perspective, this is pretty much like 5 or 6 Dreamliners crashing and everyone dead. So that is, a scenario what is very different from Mauritius, and they're also doing everything right. They followed all the guidelines. What I'm trying to say with this, I don't want to discredit the word of WTTC. I think it's excellent. I compared it also with other studies, and I think they're definitely leading, and it's worth following it. But I don't know about the word safe. I just don't know. And I know we can probably debate this long and never come, to everyone agree with this. It also depends, I think, on the legal understanding of different destinations. Here in the United States, we are very sensitive to lawsuits. So if someone, God forbid, would travel to a destination that is considered safe, or stay in a hotel what is considered safe, and then something happens, that would open up easily, I think, for lawsuits. So, but regardless, I think it's a great initiative and it's worth following it. And we actually added it to the website. We have a website what's called resilience.travel. We're just finalizing it. And that's kind of our shining example, is the Safe Travels initiative. I didn't see any hands. If anyone wanted to say anything, otherwise I'm just going to provoke here a little bit. I wanted to welcome, I see Alexandra is here. Alexandra is from Montenegro, and she's currently our first brand ambassador for Rebuilding.travel. She's based in Montenegro. We introduced her on our other event last week, meant for North America. So since you're calling in here, Alexandra, good morning. And maybe you can just tell us a little bit how things are going in your part of the world and what you're doing for rebuilding and so forth.
Yeah, okay. Hello to everybody. Good morning, good evening. Actually, as you just said, Jürgen, I'm coming from, and I'm staying in Montenegro at the moment. And things are not that good in Montenegro. Actually, I think Montenegro should be an example to maybe even the rest of the world. As you know, we've been, at the beginning of the pandemic, we did it well. We just had a very low number of cases. And then after some time, let's say a month, I think it was in May, in May, yes, we pronounced our country as corona-free country, which was actually not a good decision at all, because at that moment we were corona-free, but soon after that we started importing cases, and now we have like, I think around 500 cases, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 400 cases in the country. So it's better not to use word safely in a wrong way than, not use it at all, because in our opinion we obviously use it in a wrong way, not word safe but word free. So my suggestion is that we should all be very, very careful about it. And the word save is the word that I like, as well the word resilience, confidence. But in my opinion, word trust is something which we should promote, because we have to rebuild trust in tourism, trust in destination. So I think we should kind of combine word safety and word trust. So that's how it is. And maybe just to mention, because Serbia is also in Balkan, probably you guys heard of it. There are big protests in Serbia for last 2 days, because they had elections 2 weeks ago, and then after that, or even during the time of election, there were a lot of corona cases in Serbia. So recently the case is starting to rise up, and then the president said that he will do the lockdown again, the lockdown of the capital, and that's why people went out in the streets, and so terrible things are going on at the moment in Serbia. So I think we should be very, very careful about everything we do, every movement we make, and every word we say, because people measure it a lot.
Yeah, Alexandra, I can personally, I can definitely agree with you. And of course, we have an industry what is very fragile. We have many people now unemployed. I just heard United Airlines is planning to lay off half of their staff of who knows how many 10,000s of people, and it's not an easy situation. But I believe and strongly, if you are honest with the consumer will come. If you tell a consumer something what isn't truthful, they will not believe your statement. They won't believe future statements. And the consumer is not always all stupid. Consumers do research. It's just my humbled opinion. I may be very wrong, and I appreciate you, your input on this, Alexandra. We have Deepak from Nepal and also Victor Hernandez raising hands. Let's get to Victor and then we go to Deepak. Victor, welcome. I think you have to unmute yourself. Also, let us know where you're from.
Hi, good evening. I'm from Los Cabos, and greeting for everybody. We are located in the southern point of the Baja California Peninsula. You know, we are close by really to the border with the United States. We depend mostly from the people from the west coast of United States. And so far, we've been trying to be connected again with our clients. Unfortunately, we've been dealing through this pandemic since March. Los Cabos is a destination that depends 97% of the total industry here is all dependent from the tourist industry. As you said, Jorgen, thank you for giving me the word. As you said, we must be honest with the consumers, because what's been happening in here is that we had the clear points from WTTC certification. Unfortunately, here we don't have the resources, so the government don't have the resources to be checking specifically that everybody is following the protocols, the safety protocols. And they gotta be honest in this too, because let's say it is a part of our culture, you know, is to be gathering all together all the time. In this case, after 60 days of, you know, the being engaged in hiding in home, once the government said, okay, we want to start to reopening certain areas from the economy, everybody ran out. You know, it was like the people here something different. Like the people here that the government said the pandemic is over, you know. So we are working hard to promote a lot in our company. I work for I'm operations director from DMC, and all our contacts in the United States, they are changing all the data or the appointments or the schedule that they had for the groups arriving in Los Cabos. They are changing for 2021. That is normal, but in a state that depends 95% of the tourism, you can imagine how the situation is getting really bad in this place. So what we're promoting now is that working together, the airport, the hotels, and DMCs and travel agencies, promoting exactly that. It's promoting that the people helping us, taking care for them. Okay, if you care for us, we will take care for you. That is our mission in this time. You know, we're promoting the use of masks, the use of you know, the full face covers, or at least gloves. And we're starting from the airport. We're trying to, again, reculture the people that this is our new normal. And our new normal is going to be for a long, long time, according to the
I think your microphone went off, Victor.
sorry.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, better. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
And that's what has been happening in here. And we were trying to promote, and we're working together. And as I told you last time, this is our chance to get all together, to work not as a hotels, but separated from the airlines and the airports and the whole infrastructure that we have to have in order to have a good programs, all over the circle. We are part of the chain, we are just a little part of the chain. If we start to promoting that the people traveling safe, we know that we can guarantee that the place is going to be safe for them and as well for us. I think it's going to be a back and forth information.
No, that makes a lot of sense, because teamwork, not only in a micro sense, also in a macro sense, is very important. And now with Zoom, it's a lot easier. And you can see our little group. It's a lot of teamwork. I mean, we get people from all over the world, and everyone can tell everyone else and contribute. This is how the message goes out. And Victor, I've been to Los Cabos. It's a beautiful area. And let me ask you, you also have a substantial amount of land car travel to Los Cabos, or is this changed with some of the security issues you have? I know in the past, this was like 20 some years ago, I went to Los Cabos and I drove from Arizona,
Yeah, it is a beautiful, I mean, the ride from the border from San Diego all the way down here, it's totally safe, it's been safe. We had a little issues, we had some issues in 2017, honestly, but all that issues were solved. Why? Because we're on island. We had seas from both sides, and there is no way to get in unless that you drive from only one road in, one way out, or through the ferry using from the main line to La Paz. And this is a beautiful area. I fell in love with this place the first time I came in 5 years ago. I was relocated from Cancun to here, and this is a beautiful area.
No, it's definitely a beautiful area. And I think this is probably your niche, because some people are still very skeptical to get on an airplane, but to drive their car, it's safe. That's a destination when we talked about regional tourism and domestic tourism, what really falls under that. And thanks very much for your contribution, and good luck. Let's go to Deepak in Nepal. Hi, Deepak.
Hi, Jordan. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for this time, Jordan, and namaste from Nepal to all my dear friends from our lovely tourism industry. First, very briefly, I would like to highlight about the status of Nepal, how we are preparing, and then second, briefly, I would also like to put some issues, how together we can address or we can learn from each other. Regarding Nepal, we are still in lockdown, and hopefully from mid-August, we are planning to open our international airport. And then in between, very recently, a few days back, we have already released safety protocols for different 7 sectors, from airlines to hotel to restaurant to transport, in many other sectors. And right now, during this lockdown, we are providing a series of training to practice this safety protocols when we ready to serve the visitors. And then another thing is we are also exploring, the markets who are ready to travel. We are connecting with them. That kind of activities are going on, and we are quite hopeful that maybe late by from September 1st, we will open up. While talking about the COVID cases, in most of the tourist areas and the in and around of tourist areas, there are very, very less cases. In our high altitude activities, roughly around 2,000 meter above destinations, we have almost 0 cases. And good thing about Nepal is most of the activities in that region are itself in the activities in isolation, because we have vast land and then very few travelers. In past also, we used to have limited group numbers, but very specialized travelers. So that kind of readiness we are doing now. Regarding some concerns, Jagan, I think every hoteliers or airlines or airports, they are putting extra effort making their service technology-led services, so that their the service can be with less touch points. So doing this may add some cost in providing services. In another side, hopefully in few years of time, people will have less disposable income to spend in travel. So in this context, how other destinations, I want to learn how other destinations are preparing to give incentives to airlines or tour operators who are ready to bring tourists, so that the cost can be minimized, and then travel pattern can be encouraged. One thing is this, and then another thing is in uh, 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 regarding these safety concerns. The passengers may have to go through various safety channels or quarantines or PCRs. Ultimately, happy customer experience is key to encourage visitors. So in that line also, how other destinations are working on, if there are some good examples that will certainly benefit many of us. And then one last question to Ibrahim Ayub also. As he mentioned, Mauritius already got a safe tourism stamp from WTTC. Is it for the whole country as a destination, or the service providers like some hotels or airlines, those who have got that kind of qualification? So one clarity I'd like to have from Ibrahim also. Thank you, Jürgen.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Ibrahim, before we go to Mona in Jordan, Ibrahim, would you want to respond to this?
Yes. Hello, Deepak. Nice seeing you. It has been a long time. Yes. Nice seeing you this morning. Yes. Right. Okay. Now, Mauritius, when they put up the protocols and work out with WTTC, they have done it through all the different steps of the way for the destination, and also for all the different services. I mean, for hotel, for the taxi, and for the whole process from getting out from the plane up to the tourist to the hotel. So and even to the taxi and all the whole process, right? And I believe they are applying it. And to my knowledge, before they open for international tourists again. So they are seeing how it works with the domestically speaking, and applying it. And I think up to now, it's working well.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have Mona and also Lefters in London. Mona, welcome. You're calling from Amman, I would assume.
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Mona from Amman, Jordan, though I'm originally from California, so my American accent comes out. Greetings to everybody, and wanted to, I'm not sure if Talib's on the call. I didn't see him.
He's not here right now.
Okay, so like Nepal, Jordan is still in lockdown. Our borders are closed, our airport is closed. So like many others, we're promoting local tourism. And key destinations that are benefiting are our north, which is famous for our trails and hiking and more of an ecotourism, and our Red Sea and our Dead Sea, coastal, salty, fresh air. But what I wanted to share with you, just a concept that I have been implementing and will continue implementing, is that the world, at this point, we don't have a vaccine, we don't have a treatment. All we have are choices. The choices is to choose a healthy lifestyle. So in our campaigns, we are marketing healthy choices such as a healthy destination. For instance, we have the Dead Sea behind me. The Dead Sea is the lowest point on Earth. My tagline is the healthiest point on Earth. Why? Because it is high density of salt, mud, and our air. So if we instill the importance of a traveler to invest in their health, they can conquer any destination by having a strong immune system. And comments to everybody out there is to remember the emotions of a traveler. A traveler wants to know, wants to make sure, and I would think they would be comfortable knowing that the country is preparing healthy trails, healthy meals, a destination that revolves, such as a resort or a seaside, as a healthy destination, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We are a huge world who are going to be targeting travelers to come to our destination. My thought is that a traveler will feel comfortable knowing that Jordan and other destinations are implementing healthy travel, healthy lifestyles, healthy destination. And with that, I've also embraced ambassadors in the wellness, a few physicians that are also with me to share the importance of taking a mental break at the seaside. If a psychologist or a psychiatrist is saying, you know what, you need a vacation, why don't you go to a resort and spend a week there and just clear your mind, eat well, sleep well? The more ambassadors you have on your side, the more credibility your destination will prevail. Good wishes from Jordan, good wishes from the healthiest point on earth. Wish you all my best.
And Mona, that's a wonderful feedback. We should actually pick up and see how we can help in implementing this idea.
Exactly.
Really
yeah.
good.
And think about, you know, when destinations are promoting their food, what is their local cuisine? How healthy is it? How organic? How is it farm to table? This is a very health, immune system are the key buzzwords going through everybody's minds right now. Let's capitalize on the emotions.
Great idea.
So
we have Lefter joining us. I always thought he was in Malaysia, but I know he's in the UK. Good morning, Lefter. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jürgen. Good morning, everybody. My name is Lefteris. I'm the CEO of the Travel Book Group of Hotels. Now, I've been listening to a few people talking. What's going on today, guys, is that I've always been an optimistic person, always. Optimism is what everybody's calling me right now. Until the governments stop the lockouts, until the governments stop the quarantines, unfortunately, what I see is that tourism is doomed. Until they do that, I'm sorry to say it, and that's how it is. Tourism is doomed, and that brings along all the rest of the industries that have something to do with tourism. Now, as far as, because the whole thing is that even if a specific country is open, like Tanzania, like Greece or whatever, even if they're open, nobody can fly. As a guest, I wouldn't want to go somewhere and not be sure that I will stay my 5 nights, that I have to stay for 2 weeks because they might find that I had COVID. So there is a lot of uncertainty out there. It's not a matter of being safe. The being safe, yes, it's good to have it. But on the other hand, what we need to do is not to overdo it. It's not only to stay safe. HRS just brought out a new program that the hotelier can go on HRS and register and get a badge according to their protocols that, hey, my hotel is safe, or they can pay for a virtual badge. That means someone will go a virtual tour with them to see that everything is safe, so they can get that as well. Yeah, okay. But on the other hand, we mustn't scare people. I wouldn't want, as a person, as a private person, to go to a destination and feel like a prisoner. If I want to go on holidays, I want to go on holidays. Well, that means that I want to go back to normality. Yes, I would love to go back to normality, but I cannot do that until the government decides that, hey, let's open the countries, let's stop the lockouts, let's stop the quarantines. Now, COVID is here to stay. We've seen that. COVID is here and it's going around the countries. Whether you lock it down or not, we've seen Sweden, it hasn't locked down, never, but they still had the same or even less deaths or whatever. It's not a matter of lockouts was a mistake in my opinion, but never mind. That's not for me to decide. What is going on here is that we need to take a decision, or the government needs to take a decision, so we can go back to the normality. Because as soon as that is done, people will start going around. Yes, there is going to be more cases. Yes, there is going to be more deaths. Okay, well, it's part of our life. It's what we've all had during the last 3 months. We've seen it, but it will eventually go down. We've seen it going up, having its peak, going down. What we need to do is the government or the ministries, tourist ministries, the hoteliers, they need to be ready when this is over for the right time to do their promotion, for the right time to go out and have a policy, decisions, a strategy. How do I get my clients? So prepare that from now and be ready. So once it's the right time, then we can go out and start promoting the destination, start promoting the hotel, however we want, in order to get those clients back as soon as. We depend on it, all of us. Those are the things I wanted to say. I do understand, Ibrahim, about Mauritius, saying that Mauritius is, Peter, I know you want to talk, I can see your hand all the time. There is, where you say participants, if you press participants, there is a button there, say raise hand. If you press the raise hand, Jürgen will open for you. I can see you, Peter, saying I want to talk. Sorry for that. I've been too much in these webinars, Jürgen.
I know. Who's this, Peter Bryan?
Yes, Peter Bryan from the Mafia Island in Tanzania.
Oh, okay. So we have Benjamin too, but no problem.
Yeah, I hope, Ibrahim, you talked about Mauritius. Yes, it's beautiful that you open the country. It's beautiful that everything is back to normal. What do you do with normality if the airports are closed? The people cannot come there. The economy is not picking up. We know, we've seen it, we are doing it. It's not only yes, and you will have cases coming into there in Mauritius. We know that. You cannot prevent it. And you say quarantine 14 days. Who would come unless if I want holidays for 14 days? Then I might, but I will be quarantined in my room or in my hotel. So yes, I agree and I disagree. It's just a matter of time. We just need to be patient, all of us, until they reopen society. That's how I see it. And sorry for, well, it's my way of talking. Guys, thank you very much.
No, Lefteris, I can relate to it. It just, depending on what situation you are and when. I mean, I agree. I mean, it's almost like it's very tough to say, but it's almost like a collateral damage you have to put. There's the economy, but there's also life and death. And of course, if you're threatened by death, I mean, you do anything to stay alive.
Oh, yes.
And I can tell.
It's just, we mustn't let fear control us. And that is what I'm trying to say.
And that's completely, I completely agree with you on this. But I can also tell you from where I'm at, for instance, here in Hawaii, and luckily my business doesn't rely on tourists coming to Hawaii. I just live here. But I'm scared for August 1st when all of a sudden the airport opens and people are coming in here from California and Arizona and Florida, and even with the testing. But I know the business needs it, so I don't know how to balance it. And
you will see Jürgen there. If you're going to have testing and quarantine for people that are positive, you will still not get the traffic you expect to get.
Exactly.
People cannot decide to go to a destination and not have a control of their own life. And that is what I'm saying here. It will take some time. We just need to be patient. Then everything will be open, but we just need to be in the industry ready to be able to get what we deserve after the COVID. I call it after the COVID, even if COVID is there. I'm talking about the peak of the COVID.
Right. Well, okay, we have Peter. I don't know, Peter, where you calling us from? The microphone is yours. Then we have Benjamin and Ruben.
Good morning from Tanzania, as Lefteris pointed out. I hope you can hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Thank you. I'd like to get back to the point which I think really initiated this get-together, which was what kind of message can we send out about our destinations, whether we're safe or not? I agree with Lefteris and disagree only on one thing, and that is we should be getting ready now, not ready later. We should be always ready. So we took the policy also for the morale of our staff and to provide some income for all of them, that we are already open. We know he's absolutely right. Very difficult for the people to get here, but we've created a safe channel from the international airport to our own destination here in Mafia Island. And we've had only 5 cases, all recovered. They were imported from Zanzibar. They were not local people, and there's no local transmission going on. So we consider ourselves a COVID-free destination. We don't say safe. And there's the other issue that I think all of us in these island destinations or any destination has to think about, and that is what is the danger of bringing tourists from countries where there is a substantial degree of COVID, which is all our source markets. So there's the aspect of worrying about our own people. Nevertheless, we're ready, we're open, we've got to be very positive, as Lefteris says, but I'd like to get back to this giving of certifications. What I think the problem is for countries like Mauritius is that they will be compromised by those countries receiving a WTTC approval where the standard of, let's call it safety, is not the same as in Mauritius. For example, Kenya has just received their stamp of approval from WTTC. What I think we need to set are criteria, and the criteria we have set for ourselves here, myself, our business, and the blogs that I'm sending out, is that COVID should have been very low in its overall impact. It should be on the decline rather than the rise. And there should be very good SOP in place, standard operating protocols, that are actually being implemented. And then I think you might be able to call yourself a preferred destination. The other interesting thing is I looked up the word safe, and synonyms for safe include responsible and reliable. I don't think any of us can claim safe. I think we're confusing the public with having safety protocols in place. They're 2 different things. My destination is prepared because we have safety protocols in place. And we have, let's say, hospital facilities that are available and trained to receive any patients that might experience COVID while they're in the destination. But I think it's important to have criteria that warrant this preferred destination or responsible destination or whatever it might be called. But I think the word safe is not appropriate at this time. That giving a badge of safe is a little bit inadvisable, especially at this early stage. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Peter.
Can I just reply to Peter for a minute?
Sure.
Peter, yes, I agree with you. It was not what I meant. We need to prepare the strategies from now, but put them in place when the time is right. That's what I was trying to say. Because if we prepare our promotions from now and the country is still locked, we lost the effort, the money, everything. We put it out. But if we put it out there when exactly the time that it's opening, so people then we will get them in the country. It's not the matter of marketing, of doing the marketing much before, because people today are not looking to go holidays yet, but they will be. That's the right time. That's what I meant. But yes, you're absolutely right about all the rest, and I agree with you on the safe. Thank you, Jürgen.
No, thank you, Peter. Also, no, we had a conversation by email a few days ago in regards to this, and I was intrigued by your word preferred. I think it's very appropriate, and destination with a safe seal could become a preferred destination, but not necessarily because it's safe. Great feedback. We have Benjamin also in the UK raising his hand. Hi, Benjamin. Good morning.
Hi. Hello, Jürgen. Hello, everyone. Jürgen, we should separately follow up with the conversation that I'm having with Cuthbert about ATB and something else. But for following on from last week's meeting, I really want to pick up something that Deepak was saying earlier, and I was wondering whether Deepak's question was actually asking more about the wider destination community, because I think, Deepak, you were asking what does safety in a destination mean? And what I'm seeing in a lot of destinations that are reopening is that they are focused very much on the accommodation providers, the businesses, and how the government can support businesses through this crisis. And what happened pre-COVID was that communities were very much excluded from the planning and management of destinations. And what I'm seeing in so many destinations where I'm working is that the governments are actually, again, supporting the businesses, supporting the what are effectively the main levers of tourism, but completely excluding the communities again. And what worries me is that in the rush to get back to normal, the old normal, people are just wanting to restart their businesses. Yes, they'll introduce various protocols so they can be as safe as possible, but they're really not thinking about how to involve the communities. And they're not thinking about how they can involve local businesses in making the visitor experience much more authentic, much more resilient. And it's again just about how can we get the accommodation providers, how can we get the transport providers back on their feet? And I just do not see the new normal, as everyone's talking about, actually be looking very different to what we had before. And this usually worries me. So what I'm interested in, and in the various destinations I'm working in, I'm encouraging all the destination tourist boards to look at how they can really integrate destination communities into the management of product and destination, rather than just going back to excluding them again and thinking that hoteliers, transport providers can do everything and can be a proxy for what the community thinks. And I think all of us involved in tourism, whether consultants, operators, we need to look at every opportunity to really involve and engage the wider community in destinations, rather than just looking at the main tourism businesses.
No, very, very good feedback. Thank you very much, Benjamin. I like to call Ruben. And Ruben, thank you so much for participating. He's in Argentina, and I don't know what time it is there, but it must be like 3 or 4 in the morning. Welcome, Ruben.
Yes, good morning, good evening, hello to everybody in the world. Yes, now it's close 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 a.m. here in Argentina. Before I I go to Argentina and to the region, I would like to share some thoughts with you. And it is the following. I mean, the entire industry is at the moment absolutely or more or less in the freezer. And that also means that in many locations and in the entire industry, which is a multiplicating industry, there are many people who are suspended or have been fired from their jobs. So that also is a point in the recovery of the activities in the entire industry. But we have to talk not only about the suspensions and people who lost their jobs in our industry. I mean, in the entire, also in who are our consumers of all our activities. They also had a lockdown in their activities, so they have to have again the money to travel. I mean, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I think it's also a matter of time and of course a matter not only of macro investments or of our companies' investments, but also a matter of a decision of the consumers to take the decision to travel again. And I mean, and I think, and I am sure that after this many weeks, at least in this region where we are more or less isolated, we want to have again contact with people, to see landscapes and to see, I don't know, the sunrise and sunset, so everywhere in the world. Now, Argentina is located in South America. It is at the moment a critical region. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, the president of Brazil, Bolsonaro, is with Corona. He was confirmed. What really is an impact here in our region, and as Brazil, also Chile, Peru, Bolivia, and of course in my country, in Argentina, the situation is critical. Some countries are restarting and thinking in open again airports, like in Peru, middle of July, in August, in other countries, in our country in September. But the situation of the tourism industry is very critical. I mean, the hotels are closed. We have now, Argentina is a very big country, a very large country, and for example, at the Andean, at the mountains, now is the ski session. Well, I mean, it's open, but there are no tourists because they cannot receive any tourists, any people. It is everything closed. So the situation is really very critical, and I think, of course, together with the possibility and the stamp or certification, or I mean, what it is, what gives the industry the security to be safe at the destinations. It's also the decision of governments and of the international community to reopen the borders and the airports and the entire activity. So, I mean, that is the only way which will give again confidence to the world. Thank you very much, Jürgen, for this opportunity. and I hope I didn't bore you.
No, no, thank you very much, and especially thank you for staying up that late. And I can't wait to get to Buenos Aires and have a really good steak again. So for the times will come. But I don't know.
Jürgen, that didn't change.
Oh, it hasn't changed. All
that
right.
didn't change.
And some good wine with it. So we're in business. We have Ruben raising his hand. Ruben, tell us where you are and welcome. I think you have to unmute yourself. Ruben, can you, for some reason I cannot unmute you. You should be able to do it from your end. Well, there we go. Okay, you're on. No, you're muted again. You were unmuted for just a second. Try it again, please. Wherever you clicked on before, it did the job for a minute. We cannot hear you. We can see you, but we cannot hear you because now you go. You're unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay.
There we
My
go.
name is Ruben.
Where are you from?
Tanzania.
Tanzania.
I am from Tanzania, Tengeru Cultural Tourism. Thank you so much for this precious opportunity. As for you guys, you are speaking very important things concerning about tourism, especially this coronavirus time. Sure, we are facing some challenge, but and the other presenters, they have speaking about how the country, Mauritius, UK, taking measure about this corona. Something is missing in this tourism, what I can see in my view. I think someone from Benjamin is speaking about community program. There is only way that we can link also this touristy with community. As for Tengeru Cultural Tourism, we won an award for being the best cultural tourism in the continent, 2015. So if tourists, they come back, we are training guide and they are taking measure all required about COVID-19. So if they come here, those tourists, they get something that is missing in traveler. Instead of coming for the safari, learning about cultural tourism and supporting community, like helping hospital, helping a community program environment, and raising awareness on how they can be engaged in tourism. This is my point.
Thank you very much, and feel free to write us also. Anyone who wants to share some of the information we can collect on the website as well. Just go to rebuilding.travel, click on contact, and we will add this somewhere. We're building a second website, what is under resilience.travel, should be ready next week. It's already up, but it's not ready yet. And any input, of course, is welcome. We have Severine Obertelli. I don't know where you're calling us from, but you are online.
Hi, hello Jürgen, hello everyone. So my name is Serena Bertelli and I actually live in the UK. I wanted to intervene following actually well, what I heard. I mean, I've been part actually of the initiative since pretty much the beginning, but I've never actually intervened. I've just been mainly a listener.
No, I saw you on that.
and doing a lot of research in the background. So I'm a leadership coach, and as well, I've been doing a lot of work, for example, on business resilience. And from what I and of course I have quite a lot of experience in tourism and travel. So what I heard and what made me really reflect across all these interventions that I've heard has been the fact that there is, yes, a lot of focus on COVID. However, when we put it on the larger scheme of things, if we look at trends and so forth, COVID for some developing countries is actually not much worse than some of the other pests that actually have been affecting, the communities. So of course there has been a lot of attention on this, but we need to a little bit put that into the context that COVID is just another thing to deal with. So when we're talking about normality, it's actually something that will be dealt. And as humans, we've always been able to find solutions. So either at local level or at international level, in terms of vaccination or anything like that, that would be dealt. So from a travel and tourism perspective, in terms of leadership, instead, what I see often that there is that there is lack of focus on is instead on the economical aspect. And when I mean lack of focus, I mean actually on the innovation possibility in terms of sustainability, in terms of regeneration, in terms of involvement of different stakeholders, which is actually possible at the moment. So liaising as well on what actually Benjamin was saying earlier about sustainability and community-focused tourism, there is a huge amount of opportunities in that, and not just in terms of community and destinations, but as well in terms of the trends that were existing before, of the change in behavior of travelers and of all of us as people. So people with higher spend, which are the people that destination wants to attract first, okay, just for like the regeneration and even involvement of the local community. But in terms of regeneration, what we want is people with higher spend. People with higher spend are now people that often they are very conscious and ethically aware, or at least that's a trend, that more and more people are ethically aware. They want to spend their money in the way that they want to spend their money. They have beliefs. They have maybe religions that are maybe not addressed, might want to eat certain specific foods. So like, I'm just thinking of the growing, for example, increase of people that across the world are actually vegan, or for example, the part of the population that are maybe Muslim and that are high spending and actually are not necessarily addressed in terms of service in the destination. So that's just a very high level little introduction, but it's great to be here, and I just wanted to draft, to throw some points for reflections, and hopefully to be able to take them on further. And Jürgen, I sent you an email as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. No, I appreciate it, and you definitely have a point. I mean, with the economy worldwide going into recessions everywhere left and right, I think we're only going to have the high spending travelers left in the beginning, what probably part of the normal. I cannot see those people on a budget hopping on a plane after in the midst of a recession traveling. So I think we're going to see some changes, what also will reflect in the changes of the product we should have ready for the clients. And so there's a lot more to talk about. We're now about 10 minutes over time, and there's no more hands in the air. So I think we can, we might be able to close this meeting. I wanted to thank everyone for participating, for staying on so long, and specifically those joining us from countries like Argentina, where it's 5 in the morning. I'm absolutely impressed. Next week, we're going to have our session again at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Jürgen, sorry, you have Paul Rogers that wanted to have a word.
Oh, okay. I don't see any hands. Okay, we give him.
Yeah, because he doesn't know. He's just lifting his hand.
Okay, so Paul, yeah, let's get Paul, and then we say aloha to everyone here. Go ahead, Paul.
Hi, thanks, Jürgen. Hello, everybody. Sorry, Jürgen, I thought we were going for 2 hours, so I was waiting waiting.
Oh, we always try 1 hour and we go over it a little bit, but I guess no one is pushing us. As long as people stay, we're fine. You know?
Okay. Hi, everyone. By way of introduction, for people that don't know me, I'm a destination planner. 25, 30 years ago, I was a tourist in the Mount Everest National Park in Nepal, had a life-changing moment and ended up doing a PhD on what is ecotourism and is the Everest region an example of ecotourism. And I mention this because, you know, even today, when people think of Nepal, even a couple of days ago when Pata organized a very good seminar that the Nepal Tourism Board wanted to do on well-being, a lot of people think of Everest and they think of the traffic jam on climbing the mountain and the rubbish on the top of Mount Everest, but they don't really consider the people that have made that region one of the most successful. Well, in my 25, 30 years as a destination planner, I've never seen a more successful example of tourism development that has transformed people's lives, where the communities work together to deliver education, manage the waste in the valleys, deliver electricity to the villages, provide schooling, healthcare, and a wonderful experience to the visitors that go there. My point being, they focus on the well-being of their people and they deliver an extraordinary tourism model. Now, to take that lesson and pick up on some of the points that have been mentioned earlier, for destinations to recover from this COVID crisis, they need to look after the people in those destinations. And that means targeted support to their residents to create safe environments to live. The adage that says a safe place to live is a great place to live is a great place to visit has probably never been more important as it is today. Now, after working in Nepal for many years, I had the privilege to go to Bhutan. And there, you know, I learned about gross national happiness, and I've worked there on and off for many different development organizations over the years. And particularly in 2011, when the Bhutanese were picking up the ball with the gross national happiness agenda and running internationally with it. And the following year, in April 2012, the Bhutanese, in partnership with the UN, Ban Ki-moon as the Secretary General, they convened a high-level meeting on happiness and well-being. And a resolution was signed by member countries, recognizing the legitimacy of happiness and well-being as a development construct. Now, I say this because many of you may not know that happiness and well-being can be defined and they can be measured. So this means we can measure individual well-being in visitor destinations. And through the work that a colleague has done, that I co-founded Planet Happiness with, we have an online survey that has been in use for over 10 years in 24 different languages that is recognized by OECD to be a best practice subjective measure for measuring well-being. It does this across 11 domains, and we've added an additional element on satisfaction, if you like, of residents with their tourism industry in their destination. At the end of that 15 minutes, an individual gets a scorecard, which compares their survey results with everybody else that has taken the survey. So just as we have individual scorecards, we can therefore, by deploying this survey through the internet, through Facebook groups, through whatever medium, quite cheaply, we can get a destination scorecard. And when we compare that scorecard with every other survey taker, we can get an impression of how happy people or the well-being of those people compared to everybody else, you know, who's taken the survey. Now, from a destination planning perspective, this gets more interesting when you take away the comparison with everybody else and you stack the scores from low to high. And you can see where the deficiencies are and where interventions are needed to build and strengthen the collective well-being of the destination community. So by destinations deploying this survey at this moment in time, we can work with local communities to determine what interventions are needed to strengthen destination well-being to build tourism recovery, and secondly, to work out what interventions are needed to deliver COVID-related recovery specific to the health and well-being needs of the host community. And these storylines that are built around this can support media narratives to illustrate to potential visitors that the destination is focused on looking after its people and engaging its people in COVID resilience and recovery strategies for the tourism sector. Now, I'll leave it there. But above in the chat line, I have put the YouTube link to the keynote presentation I gave at the Buzz Travel event last week. And if any of you are interested, I'd be happy, if people watch that 20-minute, 30-minute presentation with a good Q&A on how we're introducing artificial intelligence systems to connect the survey takers with the governments to build these recovery strategies. And I'd be more than happy to work with any destinations to help support their recovery. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and we'd be happy to share this on the website also, if you send it, and so everyone can see it at any time. Before we close, I wanted to give Pankaj a chance to say something because he wanted to respond to you, and Pankaj is in Kathmandu. Namaste, Pankaj.
Hi, namaste, Thomas. And I particularly wanted to add to what Dr. Paul just shared. Let me just inform him that I did watch him live in his session at the Buzz Travel show, and it was really intriguing. Just to add on, as we all are striving to get the business back, of course, preparation going on, or wait and watch, whatever you may say it. Adding to Dr. Paul, what he said about GNH, gross national happiness, and of course, our neighbor has very smartly or tactfully promoting that. So yes, people consider Bhutan as the destination for happiness. However, I'd like to add to a recent experience what a client, she is a doctor, retired from Austria, and she is almost 77, and she came to Nepal, spent about 15 days. And when I went to see her and asked like what brought her here, she said, this is the last trip I'm taking out of Europe. So that was in January. And she said, she had come here twice, like Dr. Paul, a big fan, because she came here and she saw. And what she said was particularly interesting was, she said, I have traveled many places and I wanted to close my international trip with Nepal for a very simple reason that
I think
in other places, people just happy, right? But here in Nepal, she found that people are just happy. So that's brought her here. So perhaps this point, what Dr. Paul said is we can also highlight that. We can share that happiness, not only from mountain, but jungle or every part of the country. Yes, at this point in time when people are holding their money tight and the low paying market might not be existent for a few months or year to come. So high end where the leadership or the happiness ingrained in the product might be an answer. And that just to add what Dr. Paul and Thomas, you're doing great organizing these events. Keep it up. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Pankaj. I much appreciate it. And staying happy is more important now than ever. You know, when you hear how many people we're talking about depression and all these bad things, so just stay happy. We cannot change what is happening outside, but we all know that's not the end of the world, and there will be better times coming. So thank you very much for everyone. We're going to see you again in 2 weeks, unless you wanted to stay up US daytime next week. On Wednesday, we have our meeting at 3 p.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. here in Hawaii. And then the following we have at 9 p.m. here in Hawaii, what is Thursday, at 9 a.m. in Frankfurt or Middle Europe or wherever you are. And it's great having you. Please stay in touch, and we are working very hard to update our website, implement a better communication system, and finding our space within the communication. And I think we've made a lot of progress here today, and I will share this also with our readers at ETN and of course with WTTC and everyone else who wants to hear about it. So let's make this a better tourism industry, and let's help rebuilding travel altogether. Aloha again, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.